right, everybody. Good morning to you. A little late today. Sorry about that. Work called. And I was on a conference call this morning and just got off that a few minutes ago. So apologize for having to push this back about an hour. And we'll get started here, everybody. Welcome in. Cliff, I see you. Come on, Dan. I got Almond Brothers tickets. I got to get out of here. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let's get this thing on the roll, guys. This will be a little short. We're just going to talk a little Niner football, a little Giants baseball, kind of assessing each season where the teams are at. Shell, good to see you. Good morning. Yeah, everybody, if you would make sure you like and sub if you're watching. Appreciate that. Guys, wanted to get into this deal this morning. I'm seeing a lot of chatter regarding the San Francisco Giants on some social media platforms that are out there regarding Matt Chapman. A lot of people putting out there, I see, extend Chappie or we riot. Lots of people talking about Matt Chapman and how the Giants better re-sign him. And look, I've been on record saying that Matt Chapman he's not a guy I wanted to sign in the offseason. And it's not because I don't think Matt Chapman is a good ball player. It's because I don't believe that Matt Chapman is right for the Giants. And yes, you could say, where would they be without Matt Chapman? He's like one of their best players. Well, you're 2 games over 500 right now. What are the Giants' record here? Is it 65-63 or 64-62? Let me look. I forget at this point. Okay, the Giants are 65-63. Where would they be without Matt Chapman? Probably pretty close to where they are with Matt Chapman, if you want to know the truth. Because maybe he's maybe instead of 65-63, they're 63-65. I don't know. What is Matt Chapman's WAR right now? Maybe someone in the chat while I'm focusing in on this show, maybe someone who's watching right now can put in the chat, what is his current WAR? It's probably two or 3 games above replacement, wins above replacement. What is Matt Chapman's current WAR? And I should have been prepared to think about that, but okay, Chapman, right? He has a 5.6 WAR. Okay. So the Giants would probably be 5 games less. So they'd be 3 games under 500 probably. Instead of 65-63, they'd probably be 60-68. So that's probably where the Giants would be without Matt Chapman. But then again, Cliff Martinez says 4.2. Okay. 4.2. So they 4 or 5 wins. The question is, where would Casey Schmidt be? Would he be under? Would he have a WAR of a negative WAR, or would he have a 1 WAR? We don't know. But the bottom line is this. Matt Chapman is a good ball player, but as you saw last night, he hits into double plays with runners in scoring position twice. That's why he's only got 62 RBIs on the season. Elliot Ramos has 60 RBIs and didn't start playing until May 8th. Matt Chapman started playing the end of March when the season started. So Matt Chapman has probably 30 plus games on Elliot Ramos, and they're basically even in runs batted in. If Chapman was the star player that everybody says he is, he should have 75 runs batted in right now. He's batting fourth, fifth in this lineup on a regular basis. So, yeah, Matt Chapman's a great third baseman. He's a heck of a baseball player. He knows the game. He plays every day. Those are all valuable tools to a clubhouse. But you know what they are? They're more valuable to a team that's ready to win a championship. The Giants are nowhere near a team ready to win a championship. So Matt Chapman, for his $18 million, you could have had starting pitching. That is what the Giants need. Giants struggle to field, typically it's two starting pitchers, and every now and then you get a good start from Robbie Ray, it looks like, and Kyle Harrison. But Jordan Hicks was not the answer as a starting pitcher. So I think I'm fine with Matt Chapman coming back to the Giants if you surround him with stars. If you had a Juan Soto, but you're not getting Juan Soto, so forget that. But if you had Juan Soto, if you had, give me another player out there that would make sense. I don't know. If your DH was Marcell Ozuna, okay, versus who the heck is the Giants DH these days? Who do they use? I'm not even. I mean, it's a hodgepodge of DHs. It's Conforto. I don't know. Who's the Giants DH? I don't know. I mean, it changes from game to game. The Giants need star players. That's why if you put Chapman in the lineup, like, look, if you imagine Matt Chapman in the lineup with the LA Dodgers, okay, they've got the top of the order. They got Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman, and then Will Smith. Okay, there's four guys right there. Replace Chapman with Max Muncy and bat Matt Chapman around 7. And the Dodgers are probably almost unbeatable because Matt Chapman would shore up their defense and he would be batting 7th and he would have some production down there. At least 6th. I mean, that would be the highest I would bat him in a good batting order, 6th. But I think 7th is a perfect spot for Matt Chapman. Put him on the Yankees. He helps the team like that. Even the Phillies, I know they got Bohm, but Chapman would be good on those types of teams. On the Giants, he's having to carry the load, him and Ramos. It's not enough. And if we looked at Matt Chapman's numbers recently, the other night, I think the most RBIs he's ever had, when I looked at him, I can't remember what it was. He's never got 100 RBIs. I think the closest he came was close to 90 one year. Maybe 2019, I think, was his best year. I'd have to look it up again to see what Chapman did. But look, I'm not down on Matt Chapman as a ball player so much as what I am is the Giants are far away from winning. Baseball Reference has his WAR right now at 5.6 and Fangraphs 4.2. So I don't know which one is which, but I'm just looking at Matt Chapman's top RBI year. It was 91 in 2019, but he averages 80 RBIs a season over his 162 game average. He's averaging 80 RBIs a year. Okay. I mean, in 2023, he had 509 at bats. He only had 54 runs batted in with Toronto. The year before, at age 29 with Toronto, he had 27 homers, only 76 RBIs. The year before that with Oakland, 27 homers, 72 RBIs. how does that happen when you're playing almost every day and you're just not driving in runs? Because that tells me you're leaving a ton of people on base. Um, you know, somebody in the chat is saying I haven't even looked at the lineups yet today. We'll do it a pregame show today at 12:25. Sorry, guys, I've been super busy this morning with a lot going on. But are the Giants, is the lineup out yet? Yeah, it actually is. Okay, they got Casey Schmidt as DH today. Okay, so they're doing oh gosh. They're going all righty today. Not one lefty in the lineup except Grant McCray. Okay, so they're going to go the whole platoon crap again today. We'll touch on that at 12:25 if you're able to join us. I mean, my goodness. Cliff says, missing the everyday lineup. Can still recite the 97 lineup without researching, and that was 27 years ago. Yeah. I mean, this is Farhan baseball, guys. And this is why I say the Giants will never, ever win a world championship with Farhan Zaidi. Forget it. It ain't going to happen. Period. Never will happen with Farhan. And as soon as the Giants ownership recognize this, the sooner they'll get him out of town. But they don't care. They got their 3 World Series championships. And you know what that did is it bought them 20 years. So they're good for this decade, guys. You're not seeing a competitive team until the next decade unless they move on from Farhan. If they keep Farhan here through the end of this decade, I don't care what they do with Bryce Eldridge coming up. And we'll get into Bryce Eldridge at some point. In fact, tonight we'll talk about Bryce Eldridge with Cody on the show. Bryce Eldridge is tearing up high A in Eugene. The guy's on a rampage hitting wise. He's smoking the ball. So they may have found themselves a true power hitter that can be a star ball player. This kid looks like he has it, but we'll see. But it looks good. But the Giants 25 slogan, together we're platooning. I like that. Better than nothing like it. I mean, nothing like it. They ran it back 2 years in a row. Can you believe that? Nothing like this crap. So, we'll see. We'll see where this thing actually ends up going. But also today, guys, I want to touch on some sad news that just came down about a half hour ago. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I got a post on this, and let me just get to this and see if anything is out on the news this morning yet. But Al Attles, former Warriors coach and general manager, just passed away. It looks like sometime this morning. And let's see, died. Okay, he died yesterday, Tuesday. Okay. I guess the news was just put out a little bit ago, within the last hour or two. So our condolences to the Warriors and Al Attles' family. Al was one of my favorites. Loved seeing him as the coach for the Warriors. The story of Al Attles, he was nicknamed the Destroyer for his physical style of play. He played with Wilt Chamberlain in the game that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. Al Attles was a guy who I don't even believe he was drafted. Or if he was a late draft in the NBA. And he made it. He was a scrapper. Think of Al Attles kind of like Patrick Beverley, but not so crazy as Patrick Beverley. He just played tough defense. But Loved Al. I think what I remember Al the most for, though, is a game. I think it was a 74-75 season. So it would have been like May, probably in May or June of 1975. The Warriors were playing against the Washington Bullets at the time. They were up 3-0 in the NBA Finals, and a guy on the Washington Bullets by the name of I can't remember his first name. His last name was Reardon, Mike Reardon. I think it was Mike Reardon, and he got tangled up with Rick Barry and tried to get Rick Barry tossed from the game, and because Rick Barry was, he was the Warriors in that year. He was the MVP, everything for the Warriors, MVP in the finals, but they tried to get Rick Barry to retaliate and get thrown out of the game. And Al Attles came off the bench for the Warriors, and he was ready to fight. He just got in there, and he was just scrapping, and he was ready to throw blows. Could you imagine Steve Kerr doing that? I mean, not in a million years. But Al Attles just got out there. He was the definition of a warrior. The fact that Al Attles played for the Warriors, the Philadelphia Warriors, and the San Francisco Warriors, and then became the general manager and coach of the Golden State Warriors and all of that, he was a true warrior. I mean, he fit the definition of a warrior. Al Attles was, to me, Joe Lacob needs to put a statue outside of Chase Arena or inside of Chase Arena. I haven't been inside Chase. Maybe there is. I haven't heard it. But Al Attles needs a statue. He is the embodiment of the Warriors. He was just not only a great coach, and he was a heck of a ball player. He was a greater man. Al Attles, man, rest in peace. I loved Al Attles, and again, our condolences to Al Attles' family and the Warrior family. Man, I hope they do something with that and give him a statue. Maybe they've already have. I haven't heard it. If they have done so, good for the Warriors. But if not, let's get that campaign started. Let's get something to remember Al Attles forever at Chase Center. And he's an all-time great as far as I'm concerned. Wasn't the greatest as far as a basketball player, what he did on the court. He was solid, but just the man, what he meant to the organization. And he brought the Bay Area the first NBA title. Okay. We had quite a run in the 70s there in Oakland. You had the Oakland A's winning the World Series championship 72, 73, and 74. And then the 74-75 season was the Golden State Warriors. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 76 season, the Oakland Raiders won the Super Bowl. That period of Oakland right there in the mid 70s was pretty dominant, dynamic. So, so we'll get in. We'll talk more about Al Attles and the Warriors a little bit later, probably at some point. But I just wanted to put that out there. Guys, some questions in the chat. Steven Ortega says, Dan, how do you see the Giants going into Seattle and the Brewers? I think Cliff hit it pretty good. Anything less than a 4-2 road trip is devastating to the Giants. They've got to win series. They've got to win both series in Seattle and in Milwaukee. Will they do that? I don't think so. I think they're going up against 3 tough pitchers against the Mariners. Mariners have a heck of a pitching staff. We looked at the other night. I think Friday they're facing Castillo. I think they're facing George Kirby in that series on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday, they're facing, no, it's Kirby and Snell on Saturday. Sunday, they're facing Brian Wu, Kyle Harrison. I think they're going to have a tough time winning too in Seattle, honestly. I think, and we'll touch on this here at just less than an hour from now when we get the Giants pregame show today. If you're available for that, I think Giants should win today. Should go for the sweep with Logan Webb. So, guys, I know we talked about doing the little 49er stuff. It looks like 49ers, it looks imminent that they will be signing Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams. I think they get back into camp by the weekend. I think it gets done. We've been saying this for days. I'm at the point right now when it comes to Ayuk. Look, I'd give the guy an ultimatum and say, look, here's your contract. We've bent over backwards. We've given you everything you basically asked for, and you keep moving the goalpost on us. We're done. Get this in camp 24 hours. You can just sit out the season. The heck with it. You know what? You got to get a little strong sometimes in negotiations. And if you want to get places, you got to be tough. And this is why the Giants get run over, because Farhan's weak. He gets run over by other GMs. And this is why he gets run over by agents, because he doesn't get tough and he gives everybody an opt-out. It's such an easy, just sign with us. Here's an opt-out. You can have an opt-out after the first year and the second year. Just please sign. Just go ahead. I'll give you everything you need. I'm going to cut the salary down a little bit, but you can opt out and you can have your freedom. That's why the Giants are weak, because they have weak leadership. And it's why the Giants were strong, because they had Brian Saban and he didn't take crap from people. Okay? Ned Colletti, same thing. You don't take crap from agents. You get strong. And Ayuk, look, you want to play here? Here's the offer. 24 hours. Sign it, or we're taking it off, and we're backing off. We're going to back off. We're backing $1 million off the contract each day you sit. We're at 30 million. Okay, you don't sign by tomorrow, it's going to 29. You don't sign by the next day, it's 28. You don't sign by the next day, it's 27. And stick to it. Stick to it. And he comes back and says, I want to sign. I'm ready to sign for 30. Nope, you didn't take it. Believe me, when you get tough like that, because what are his options? What are Ayuk's options? Play on his 5th year at 14 plus million, or sit and make nothing. So that's why, guys end up you got to get strong, and you've moved the needle, you've moved it a lot, you've brought your contract up, get it signed or move on. But these teams cater to these athletes, and then if Ayuk comes in here and he gets hurt, some kind of soft tissue injury, gets a hamstring or whatever, it's going to be like, I mean, we've seen it over and over again, guys. Guys that hold out and miss camp, the whole camp, they're not as productive. Nick Bosa wasn't as productive last year, right? Look at Blake Snell, missed all of spring training. Jordan Montgomery missed all of spring training. These guys had terrible first halves, okay? There's a reason for spring training and for camp in football. It gets you into football shape, okay? So hopefully they get this done this week, and I can have a couple weeks to get ready. So George Curry says, does not work that way, Dan. This is not insurance policy you're negotiating. You don't take money off the table. No Ayuk, no Super Bowl, plain and simple. He will get a top 5 contract for wide receivers. Yeah, you could look at it that way, George. You could say that no Super Bowl, no Ayuk, no Super Bowl. But at some point, you can't just cater and give in to every athlete, or you're gonna every one of their demands. I mean, they've got other stars that are going to need contracts next year. You can't just. There is a cap. There's a hard cap, and you have to work around it. And it's a give and take. But I've always believed that in negotiations, you want to be, there's compromise that has to happen, but somebody has to be strong. And, look, you got to also realize this, George. Ayuk, if they call his bluff, I think he'll sign because he doesn't want to sit out. He's proven he wants to be a Niner. He didn't take the trades to New England and Cleveland. He doesn't want to leave San Francisco. He wants his money to be with San Francisco. But if he realizes and feels like he may be losing out, you think he's going to squabble over $1 million when he's this close? The Niners, I think, yeah, they both need each other. The Niners need him and he needs the Niners. But the Niners can afford to play hardball too. They can. I mean, Ayuk's not going to sit out. Trust me. He's not going to sit out and waste a whole year because then he's hurting his future. Yeah, he wants the guarantees on his 4th year. You know what? Amon St. Brown, I think, got $77 million guaranteed. It should be just the figure, the dollar figure. I think it's going to be somewhere around $80 million guaranteed is my guess. If he's wanting part of his 4th, if he's getting the total number of years guaranteed in the first 3 years, he should be happy with that. Yeah, change my 49er screen. I like that. We're talking Niners. There we go. 49er screen. Thank you to 49er Media. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I think Ayuk, the 4th year guarantee, who knows how that's going to work out. I mean, does this mean the end of Debo if for next year? Because the Niners can walk away from Debo with not getting hurt with, there's not much guarantees left on his contract after this year. So we'll see where this thing ends up. But guys, I thank you for joining this morning. It is now 11:44. Got a few things to do before I get back here at 12:25 for a Giants pregame, and then we got Giants game time at 12:45 today. So want to thank you guys for being here. Everyone in the chat, means a lot that you're here. So let me get ending music here going. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Shell, always here in the chat. Yep. And all right, as she says, all the content creators helping one another. I'm here for it. Yeah. So see you, 49er Media. George, good to have you in here. Steve-O, Ryan. Who else we got in here today? I know several people watching. Cliff Martinez, BC, Michael, FaZe. Good to see you guys in here. Appreciate it all. We'll be back shortly here for a little live pregame action. San Francisco Giants going for the sweep today. We'll come back at 12:25 for a quick pregame. Until then, have yourself a great day, everybody. Take care.